Hola, buenos días a todos. Just wanted to make another quick video about iLearn, just to show you guys what you should be doing as you go into your class and start to do your homework. So, because this is an online class, instead of making things due like 3 times a week, like I would do for a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, you guys have the equivalent of 3 days' work that is all due at once. Okay, so 11:59 p.m. on Sundays is the day that I pretty much set to be the due date. So what you guys have to do is kind of pace yourselves. Don't leave everything for Sunday. It'll be really overwhelming if you leave everything for Sunday and you're trying to teach yourself like 4 different things in one day. Instead, try to treat this like it's a regular Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, and spend a little bit of time. I would say every day or every other day doing your homework, because you have to kind of let some of it simmer. You can't just rush through all the homework and expect to absorb all of the material. So let me open up the course calendar. I'm going to view it by chapter. All right. So these are the first assignments. I'm going to actually go ahead and go to our chapter 1, which is what you guys need to be working on. Capítulo 1. So these are all the assignments. If there's no due date by it, that means that you don't actually have to complete it. But yeah, let's just start here. So when the assignment is labeled as Learn It, your task is to just read through. Don't just skim. Don't just look at the picture. Read through each word and listen to it. Click your little speaker button here and listen to the pronunciation. Try to relate the sounds with what you see written. Buenas tardes, profesora. I recommend repeating it out loud. ¿Cómo está usted? Okay, so we want to focus on sound, pronunciation, and understanding the meaning. Then there will be just a little easy activity at the end. This one's a little drag and drop activity. And then I think there should be, if there's not a submit button, I think it will save it automatically. And then you can just continue to the next activity. Again, you can click down this list. The only issue with that way of going about it is that if you just click down the list, you'll do every single activity in the book. If you want to just do the ones that are assigned, which are quite a few as it is, just go back to the assignment calendar. Once you complete the activity, it's going to show that it's complete. It'll show you your score. So Learn It. Again, this is just a continuation of the same thing. We want to listen to and read. Oh, and it even has the translation. If you hover over it, you'll see the English. Nice. It's a nice feature. Okay, so once you listen to it, and I recommend listening several times, repeating out loud several times, making sure you understand the meanings. Once you complete all these Learn It activities, I would recommend in the same day doing Learn It and Practice It. Okay? I wouldn't do more than like 10 at one time. You could do more, but there's only a certain amount that's going to stick in your mind from a single study session. So I would go ahead and do the Learn It's for the vocabulary, and then the Practice It. When you click on Practice It, I would recommend reviewing your vocabulary first, and then all we're doing here is we're reading these little dialogues and matching which dialogue matches the picture. All right, if you find yourself reading these and forgetting completely what the things mean, if you find yourself tempted to go to Google Translate or something and look up these words, that means that you haven't really internalized them yet. You should go back to your Learn It section, go back to the vocabulary list, study those, practice those, and then try to do the activity. So yeah, once you complete your Practice It activity, go back to the calendar, and we have a couple other Practice It activities. And your last activities that you should do, I would say in one sitting, if you wish to, would be the Use It. The Use It activities are based on the same vocabulary, but they take it one step further. This time you're just listening to the greeting, clicking on the speaker, and you select which category it falls under. So if someone were to say adios, hasta luego, that would obviously be saying goodbye. So you'll do those activities. We have another Use It activity which is listening. So you listen to a whole conversation and say, okay, who is most likely having this conversation? What is the gist of what they're saying? Is it formal or informal? And then sometimes you'll actually have a recording to do. But it looks like for this first unit, we don't have a recording yet. So I would recommend doing that as a chunk. All right, you can break it up even more if you want to. You don't have to do that all in one sitting. But if you do it in one sitting, I would limit it to just this series of learn it, practice it, use it. I would sleep on it, practice those things, and then the next day, maybe, or the day after, go on to numbers. So go ahead and do números, practice it, use it. So that's kind of the sequence that I would use. Try to break it up into several days instead of trying to cram it all into one day. At the end of all these activities, I have a little autoevaluación, which means self-evaluation. And this is just kind of for you to see, okay, can I actually do these things? And you're not going to get a bad grade if you say no. It's just a way for you to realize how much you're able to do at this point. If you find yourself saying no, not quite, to several of these things, that's kind of a red light for you and a reminder to go back and practice with those specific things. Okay, so that's the idea. Remember that you do have several attempts on these assignments. So I would say if after 2 attempts you still are not understanding what you're doing, please set up an appointment with me or just come to office hours and I can help you practice and walk you through anything that you might need practice with. All right, hopefully this helps. You guys have a good day. Hasta luego.